I want you to start to pay attention to your inner territory and notice the connection between how you're feeling in your inner territory and what's manifesting and happening in your outer territory. So look at the current situation we're in. We are trying to control everything outside of us, and it's making us crazy. We're trying to control the stock market, the economy, the politics, the social media, other people's opinions. We're trying to control all these things. We're trying to get everybody to be on our side or think like us. I make the joke, like we want everyone to think like us, and we can't even get our kids to listen to us sometimes. And yet, most people haven't learned to sit in a room by themselves peacefully. Most people spend their entire lives trying to control the world around them while actually neglecting the one place they actually have authority, their own inner territory, their own body, thoughts, emotions, and attention. Peace is not something you find, it's something you create within. So welcome to episode, we're on 6, I believe, episode 6 of Write Your Outcome. We started with conscious leadership begins within. And again, you do not have to be a leader to listen to episode 1 of this season. Episode 2 was about the crisis of consciousness that we are experiencing on the planet and in society. Episode 3 was my personal crisis of consciousness and awakening story, one of many. Episode 4 was inquisitive leadership, where I interviewed Frederica Peterson on her new book, Inquisitive Leadership. And episode 5 was the recognizing the signs of being conscious and being unconscious, where you displaying the signs. So this next episode becomes perfect because now we're going to talk about coming home to yourself, reclaiming your territory. Your mind is your territory. And this episode is shifting from understanding consciousness and what it is to practicing it. If any of those previous episodes spark something in you and you haven't listened to them, I urge you to go back and listen. So as I said, most people spend their entire lives trying to control everything outside of them. And let me tell you, it is a recipe for disaster. I myself was one of those people that when things didn't go my way, I railed at the world. And let me tell you, that was not a fun place to be. So I want to start with something very exciting that I just learned. This is what I love about this work. There's always something new to learn. So when you think of the word psyche, psychiatrist, our psyche, we usually think of our mind. But what I learned this week is the original Greek root of the word psyche means soul. Psyche means soul. So psychiatry is the healing of our soul. Now, our soul is connected to our mind, so let's not leave our mind out of it. But I was so impressed with the fact, if you want to Google it, what's the root of the word psyche, you'll find that it meant soul, it meant spirit. And somewhere along the line, we left our souls in the car and we kept moving without them. We became obsessed with managing outside forces and forgetting that there's a deeper part of ourself. We are not our thoughts. We are the one that thinks our thoughts. We learned how to achieve. I see you out there. We are achieving. We are producing. We are maniacs at putting out content and creation and acquiring stuff. I remember years ago when I read Daniel Pink's, which one was book? I can't remember the name of the book, but he said that the storage industry in the United States is bigger than the movie industry. That United States uses more garbage bags than most countries have garbage. We just started accumulating and producing, and we forgot to be. We forgot our souls and who we really are. So again, what if the greatest leadership challenge isn't leading others? What if it's learning how to care for your own inner world, your inner territory, your inner psyche, your soul? So I use the word territory as, what do I say? My body is my castle. It's your territory. Your body, your mind, your soul, these are your territory. It's not a physical territory on a map, but it's an internal territory. So think of your body, your thoughts, your emotions, where you focus your attention, where you focus your energy. Most people spend their entire lives focusing, again, on all the things outside of them while neglecting the actual territory that they have governance over. So that's what this episode is about. I want you to start to pay attention to your inner territory and notice the connection between how you're feeling in your inner territory and what's manifesting and happening in your outer territory. So look at the current situation we're in. We are trying to control everything outside of us, and it's making us crazy. We're trying to control the stock market, the economy, the politics, the social media, other people's opinions. We're trying to control all these things. We're trying to get everybody to be on our side or think like us. I make the joke, like we want everyone to think like us, and we can't even get our kids to listen to us sometimes. And yet, most people haven't learned to sit in a room by themselves peacefully. Sit by yourself. Try it. Sit outside. Sit someplace without anything taking your attention. Just listening to your breath, feeling your breath, right? No magazines, no social media, no phones, no computers, no screens, no books, no TV, just be. See what happens to your heartbeat. So the real source of our suffering is the thoughts that we're thinking. And again, if you've listened to previous podcasts, you know, fake fear or real fear. Real fear is the building's on fire, someone's bleeding. Fake fear is I'm thinking scary thoughts. And scary thoughts isn't real danger, it's thoughts. Events happen and we don't have control over those events, but then our thoughts arise. And once our thoughts arise, we then have our emotion. So again, I've talked about this many times. Whenever you feel that twist in your gut, the best way to manage your levels of anxiety and confidence are to say, ooh, I just felt my gut, something twist in my gut. What was I just thinking? And take a minute to trace back what you were just thinking, and you will find 9 times out of 10 you were thinking something unpleasant that triggered the emotion and the twist in your gut. Feelings follow our thoughts. Most people think that our emotions are coming from the outside world, right? Look what you made me do. She made me do that. It's his fault. But we often suffer not even from the event, but it's about the story we tell ourselves, right? The outcomes we write. So when things don't go our way, we write the story, we write the outcome that we don't want. Let's say I sent you an email and you didn't respond. I immediately start spinning a story. I start writing out the outcome of they don't like me, or they don't think I'm important enough, or don't they know who I am? If somebody criticizes you, I take it personally. And in my earlier classes, I used to say, to people in my classes, if I, said to you, you're the most insincere person I've ever met, you might go, and take pause and say, oh, how does she know that about me? Am I insincere? Why do people think I'm insincere? But if I said to you, you have green hair, you'd be like, I don't have green hair. So, right, one is subjective, one is objective, and we're still creating the story around it. Our minds want to instantly create meaning out of what's happening. And that's one of the things you control. You control the meaning you assign to the events in your life, and that meaning generates your emotions. This is the beginning of mindfulness. Not by controlling every thought. You can't control every thought, but when you are aware of your thoughts, you get to guide them. Energy rule number 1 in my book is energy is at your service. There's all this beautiful energy in the universe. And I always say, even conflict is energy. It's just energy asking for direction. So do I want to take this energy of conflict and start a fight? Or do I want to take this energy of conflict and soothe it? But first, I have to be aware that it's even there, that there's energy there that I have agency over. So mindfulness is courage. This is very powerful. I want you, if you haven't already been doing it, you probably have if you've been listening to me, just start monitoring your thoughts and monitoring if they're true or not. We think, what's this? I don't know, the scientists say we think about 30,000 thoughts a day, 70,000 thoughts a day. We repeat the same thoughts and half of them aren't even true. So again, mindfulness has been mistaken to mean meditation or relaxation. Being mindful is a brave act. Having the courage to sit with yourself exactly where you are is very brave. If you listen to my episode 3, when I talked about my breakdown to breakthrough, I was in a very uncomfortable place, but I had to make peace or accept as much as I could the uncomfortable feelings I was experiencing in order to deal with them. I want to take a moment to go over all the ways we can connect and work together because there are so many. Definitely social media. You could subscribe to my newsletter by going to energizeyourhappiness.com, clicking on the key performance logo in the upper left-hand corner, which will prompt you to add your email. And when you do that, you will receive for free my 5 super habits that energize your result. You can continue to keep listening to this podcast. And if you hear something that resonates, that helps you, please share it with your friends and family. This podcast is a labor of love and it is fully funded by myself. You can read my books. Happiness is a Habit, Energize Your Happiness. Energize Your Happiness is available in book form and on audible.com. And if you like the books, please rate and review. I do a tremendous amount of one-on-one executive coaching. I pride myself on my one-on-one VIP retreats where it's you and me for 48 hours, focusing on what's important to you and how to add more meaning and fulfillment to your life personally and professionally. We can work together to do one-on-one assessments. I am certified in over 20 different assessments. You take the assessment online, and then one-on-one, we have a Zoom call where you get a personalized debrief session with me. I also have a self-guided online video program based on my first book, Happiness is a Habit. This book has been curated into 18 beautiful videos and an 80-page workbook, which you could do as a self-guided study, or you can hire me to coach you along through it and support you. One of my favorite things to do with burnt out executives is the Energized Leader 90-day reset experience. I do tons of keynote speaking, 1 day, full day and half day workshops, Zoom and virtual workshops. So from podcasts to books, to executive coaching, to workshops, to transformational leadership, all of this work is not about faking it. This work is about emotional mastery, energetic alignment, and courageous leadership, and consciously writing an outcome that you want to live. So you can reach me at energizeyourhappiness.com. All of these things are on my website, or you can email me directly, Michelle@energizeyourhappiness.com. Thank you and make it a great day. So if you're feeling sad, that's okay. If you're feeling fearful, disappointed, lonely, angry, just notice it, because the feeling is not who you are. It's what you're feeling in the moment. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling fearful. And if you're human, you go through these range of emotions all day long. So start noticing your feelings and then don't distract yourself. Sit with the feeling. Oh, I forget the famous poet. It was Rumi or Thich Nhat Hanh that said, every morning there's a new emotion. Invite it in. Invite it in. Hello, loneliness. Hello, fear. Hello, anxiety. Just invite it in without judging it, without numbing it, without scrolling or busying yourself, right? To not feel it. I want you to feel it. No judgment, no blame. You don't even have to fix it. I just want you to start seeing it, noticing the emotions as they're going through you. Once we stop resisting our emotions and running from our emotions, we can begin to own our outcomes. I love the old saying, what we resist persists. So if I said to you right now, I don't want you to think of a purple elephant. I don't want you to think of a purple elephant driving a blue Volkswagen. I'm saying things in the negative because you can't help but see things. Our brain works in positives. It doesn't work in negative. So even I'm saying, don't think of that, your brain is still thinking of that. So the saying, what we resist persists, happens because we think we're resisting it or we're not thinking about it or not giving it attention, but we're doing exactly the opposite. Once you see it and say, you know what? I'm sitting in a very uncomfortable place right now. I was sitting in a very uncomfortable place a month or so ago. But once I can admit that I'm uncomfortable and I'm maybe jealous or whatever I was feeling, I can heal. You can heal. So one of the first steps is breathing your way. Your breath. I think it's, again, the Buddha says that, your soul is in your breath. When you think of every meditation or spiritual practice, it wants you to breathe in and breathe out and calm down. And the breath is the one thing that brings you into this world. And it's the one thing that takes you out of this world. So what if your breath is your soul? What if your breath is your psyche, is your spiritual side? Most people aren't even breathing right, myself included, but it could be very simple, practical, and universal. Every breath is an opportunity to bring yourself out of that monkey brain that's either taking to the future or bringing you to the past. And by breathing, it brings you into the present moment. So let's do this. Even if you're driving, do not close your eyes, but just let's take a breath. Breathe in for 4 counts and breathe out for 5. And do that one more time. Breathe in for 4 and out for 5. If you can hold your breath on the inhale, it even helps more. And I want you to notice that when you put your attention on your breath like that, it takes you it takes you into the present, right? So you're no longer in the past, you're no longer in the future. And 3 mindful breaths could be a meditation. Because you all know me, I've been studying happiness for a long time, and happiness does not come from the next promotion, the next relationship, the next thing you accomplish, the next amount of money. It's only right here and now in the moment. And believe me, I've gotten messed up in this as well. I've gotten stuck in thinking that happiness would come when I write the second book or when I get someplace. And, as much as I studied this, I still am learning. And what I've learned is, think about those spontaneous moments when you just feel joy. Think about your smile. I want you to smile with me. Can't see me if you're not watching YouTube, but I am smiling. And, smiling is something that lights up your face and it relaxes dozens of muscles. And I've always told people to practice their smiling. And people go, what the heck, Michelle? Because when you don't practice your smile and you give this cheesy smile that's like, it's like you purse your lips and you give a half fake smile. So there's actually research. There's something called the Duchenne smile. And the Duchenne smile is an authentic smile. When you really smile, like a real smile where your eyes crinkle and everything lights up versus a fake smile when you're just going through the motions. When you're smiling, not only do other people benefit, but your nervous system gets the message. That's why I always tell people, go outside and just look up at the sky and smile, because I don't know, it just makes me laugh when I do that. But your nervous system is actually saying, I see you. I got you. You're safe. And now I want to talk about the war inside people. And this might be something you're like, what do you mean the war inside? I just want you to think of anything you're against. What are you against? I mean, we have a lot of stuff against. You could be against your parents, against your boss, against your kids, against your politics, against society, against the younger generation, against the older generation, against another country. I mean, people that aren't the same beliefs as you. So anytime you are against something, remember, whatever you resist persists. Whenever you are against something, you are warring inside your own territory. There's a war inside you. And as I said on an earlier podcast, we want peace in the world, but it starts with the individual. If you are not feeling calm and joyful and peaceful on the inside, that frenetic energy is going out into the ethers and it's like pollution on the planet. And then other people are picking up on that energy. So we cannot create externally what we have not cultivated internally. That is why I have really dedicated this entire season to awakening in consciousness, becoming conscious that you are not your feelings, you are not your thoughts, you are the person, the being behind your thoughts and feelings. And I want you to be a better leader. Now, you might have a leadership title on your resume, but you're a leader no matter where. You're a leader in your family. Are you in a relationship? Are you a leader in your relationship? Are you a leader with your children? You are a leader. I was talking to a new client on the phone the other day, and I kept using the word executive. And he said, whoa. I don't think of myself as an executive. I'm just a regular guy. And it's tomato, right? You are a leader. You are leading. And the most important person you will ever lead is yourself. And that's what episode 1 of this season was all about. You can't expect other people to get it right when we don't have it right. So again, I don't want you to squander your life. Benjamin Franklin had a great quote that I used to say years ago. Dost thou love life? Then don't squander time, because that's the stuff life is made of. This is your life. And so many people are spending their life worrying, rushing, reacting, chasing, comparing, scrolling, living in yesterday, worried about tomorrow. And the more you can be in the present moment, the happier you'll be. Right? I always say, what's missing from this moment right now? Right now, there's a million things in the headlines. But right now, I'm sitting at my beautiful desk on a beautiful day, talking to you beautiful people. And in this moment, all is well. In this moment, this is my life. Now I'm thinking of the John Lennon quote, right? Oh my God, what is it? It's like kind of life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. So not waiting for next year, for the weekend, for retirement, when things settle down. That's my favorite one. Right now. So once you even see that you're in your monkey brain, right? And I say monkey brain because that's what they used to call the brain, that when your brain is either worrying about something in the past or future, or worrying about something that either happened in the past or might happen in the future, you're not in the moment. You're unconscious. And I said this on the last episode. Think of someone who's unconscious, like they're laying on the ground unconscious. They don't know what's going on around them. So many people are living a life of unconsciousness. And the best example I could give is when you open that bag of potato chips and you wolf it down, and before you know it, the bag's gone and you don't remember eating it. That was unconscious. So many people are living their lives that way, where you're getting up, you're running the same patterns in the carpet, getting out, doing what you do, coming home, doing the next thing the next day. And the minute you realize you're not in the present moment and you realize it, that brings you into the present moment. And the more you learn to be in the present moment, the more confidence you develop. The more confidence you develop, the more trust you feel. Because honestly, there is nothing you can't handle in the present moment. Nothing you can't handle in the present moment. Think about it, right? We could worry about an accident happening. Oh my God, what if? But if you're actually in an accident, you'll be handling it in that moment. You will be given what you need in that moment. And then when you live in the present moment, as I said in previous podcasts, the colors are richer, the experience is deeper. you trust more, and then you realize you don't have the need to control. I always tell people how you know when you're growing is things that used to tick you off in the past don't tick you off anymore. And you realize that things that used to offend you don't offend you anymore. Like, again, I was the road rage queen. Everybody was driving wrong and I was like out of control. And now when people cut me off and, I let them go and I might mumble something, I'm still human. But for the most part, I am not laying on my horn. I'm not getting in road rage incidents, which I used to get into. And let me tell you, at least 99% of the people on the planet or in the United States have either been in a road rage incident or have witnessed one. So that's high. Like, we're living in these high stress times where people are like one straw away from that, the straw that broke the camel's back. So the less you need to control other people, the more peaceful you become inside. The more you are able to manage your inner territory. And this peace makes you a different kind of leader in your relationships and at work. You are more peaceful, you are more grounded, and you don't take things personally. So you literally become a different kind of parent, a different kind of partner, a different kind of human being because you're conscious. You're living consciously. I will tell you, I had a negotiation with a new client yesterday, and when uncomfortable events happen, our brains automatically, the reptilian brain goes into unconsciousness. And I had to say, okay, Michelle, what's happening? What's the situation? Am I responding to the situation consciously or unconsciously? And again, just seeing it and being that I practiced this for so many years, I was able to shift. I didn't shift right away. I'll tell you, I had some mixed emotions and feelings that were gnawing at me. So what I always do is I took out my journal, I processed them, I made the decision. So that's the thing too about controlling your thoughts and emotions is once I made the decision of what I was going to do with this client, I then had to line up my thoughts and emotions with the decision. So it's kind of like, when you say yes, oh yeah, I'll go with you on Friday night to the movies, but you're like, I don't really want to go to the movies. So the whole week you're like cursing that you have to go to the movies. You made a decision, but you didn't line up with it. So once you make the decision to go to the movies, then you have to say, okay, I'm going to have a good time at the movies. And that's alignment. So if you're still listening, thank you. Take a breath. Feel all that good energy. You are making your own good energy. That's what I love about this. Smile. This makes me laugh. And come home to this moment. The uncomfortable feelings are okay. Once you see them, you're able to manage them, and your peaceful territory is waiting for you. And the more you practice these skills we talked about, again, the more peaceful, the more trusting, and the more confident you will be. Thank you. That is this week's episode of Write Your Outcome. Please, if you heard anything you like, please share it. If you haven't listened to the previous episodes, please do. And, don't forget, there's lots of ways we can work together. Make it a great day. If you liked what you heard and you want to go deeper and you are part of this new earth and this new awakening that is happening on the planet, please go right now to wherever you are listening to this podcast and subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Please rate and review to give it a bigger boost, and that will bring more people to the podcast. And stay tuned for more engaging conversations on Write Your Outcome, where this season we are walking the edge between business and spirituality.